Hi you guys, it's your girl Chrissy. I'm back with another video. This video is a little bootleg right now, as y'all can see, but I am studying and I want to just want to let y'all know how ugly studying can be. A few times I think two of my videos, I might have had a makeup on, but y'all, studying is very, very serious. Sometimes you just don't have time to make up your face so I can look presentable to you guys right now. Right now, I'm just studying. I'm trying to pass this test. I got to get ugly. You know what I'm saying? I just got to get ugly to do this. So, the first thing I'm going to talk about, I think last time we talked about sociology and last time I talked about history. The next thing that I actually have another video that I need to put up for you guys, and I was doing thanatology. I will say I did do the PowerPoint, y'all. Here's the PowerPoint right here. I did not link it or anything. I might. I'm thinking about it. But what technically is like a test for me, and I go over certain things. I end up trying to test myself and leaving blanks for me to write answers. So like on this particular slide, I did what is patriarchal, what is matriarchal, and egalitarian. So technically, I'm just trying to test my knowledge of the key terms because that's a big deal. I also ordered some flashcards from NBE Review something. I don't know. The Grave Woman actually put me on to her. It's expensive, you guys, to buy that particular flashcard, but I really want to pass this test. I cannot do this another time. This is really hovering over me, so I just want to get this done with, y'all. So, but the only thing now is she ships it 2 days after you make the order, and I appreciate that. And it's almost like she ships it or gets it prepared that day that you order, because she sent me an email or the picture of my package. But UPS right now is having a hard time, and I was supposed to receive it on the 16th. It is now the 20th, and I have not received it, nor have they updated any information on my tracking thing. So I ain't even gonna get stressed about that because there's nothing I could do. It's a lot of money for those cards. Anyway, so I'm back in my Target right now. Like I told you guys before, I have already went over the history and I went over thanatology. So now we're gonna do funeral directing. We know funeral directing in some states is separate. You could be a funeral director or embalmer, or you could do it together. In my state, you go to school and you do both. Okay. Sorry if I look to the side. The inauguration is on. Forgive me. And so the first thing that it shows me is at-need funeral procedures. It's a death that has occurred, and the funeral director is counseling with family as they select services and items for merchandise and completing arrangements for the service of their choice. Okay, everything you do affects this. What I also know about at-need is that it's technically what it says, at-need. So there's something called pre-need as well. At-need means it's done like spontaneously, like when they actually pass away. So when it's needed, at the need of the family. Okay, so one thing about it is the notification of death, where the funeral home is being notified. The request usually is made by a surviving family member for a funeral home to transfer a deceased from the place of death to the funeral home, and for the funeral home to carry out the wishes of the next kin regarding funeral services and disposition, also known as first call. Telephone is usually the most accurate or usual means of notification, and they use telephone answering. First thing they want you to do, this is just what they think is the right way to do for the national board. I have worked at 2 different funeral homes, and they do totally different things. I've actually seen another funeral home do different things, so this is just the national board exam, what they require of you. I actually kind of pretty much agree with them, but here we go. When answering the phone, you give the name of the funeral home and the name of the person answering. So, I found, I don't want to say that. Wells Mortuary, this is Christina. Okay, that's it. Avoid using good morning, and that's what I'm trying to do. Avoid using good morning or good evening. Some may find this terminology offensive, and one funeral homes that I worked, it was, thank you for calling Wells Mortuary. This is Christina. How may I be of assistance to you? How may I assist you? How may I help you? Okay. Your voice, quality and tone should not be overly cheerful, should not be sad or forlorn, should have some inflection to a voice sounding monotone or bored. Diction, okay? Um, you should be clear and crisp. Wells Mortuary. You are speaking with Christina. How may I be assistance? How may I be of assistance to you? Try your best not to get stumbled over words like me, but people are human. It happens. But try your best not to. Because when people are grieving, the smallest thing can trigger or affect them. Okay. Do not answer with food, gum, or objects in the mouth. This is negatively affects diction. So it could basically tear up the way you speak. You know, by eating food. Like you don't. That's just ghetto. Okay. Next is pronunciation. Care should be taken to pronounce words correctly. We're gonna try our best to pronunciate or pronounce the words correctly. I have a problem sometimes with if I don't know the word, I would try my best to pronounce it the correct way, but sometimes it doesn't work like that. It is what it is. Pray about it and study how to speak sometimes. Volume, not be so loud. So don't be loud where it's offensive. Huh? Who did? Where is he located? Don't do that, okay? It's disturbing. It disturbed my throat just now. So I don't know how people do it. And not be so quiet. Hello, this is the most fortunate. Who passed away? How are they related to you? Like, bam. I'm about to get mad. Okay, so no, not that. Avoid sounding impatient or bored. Ma'am, okay. All right, yes. Okay, what hospital? Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah. And you are who are you? Don't talk like that. That's not cool. And avoid okay, in closing, give the caller the approximate time you arrive at the place of transfer. Do not say we'll be right back. We'll be right there. Okay, this is what the books say. Like I say, people in funeral homes exactly do different things. So I'm just telling you what they say. Give the time of arrival in minutes or clock time. We will be there in so and so minutes. Assure the caller of the continued assistance of the funeral home by inviting them to call back if they have any questions or needs. Okay, my driver or my coworker will be to get Mrs. So and so in about 30 minutes. If you need to call back or you have any questions, anytime, just call back at 777-9311. Okay, so, and then it says, permit the caller to close the conversation. So allow them to close it. Just be like, yes, ma'am. Is there anything else that you need from me? Okay, all right. And then they'll be like, thank you so much. You're very welcome. Thank you for allowing me to assist you in this time. My condolences. Okay, avoid saying thank you since this may be offensive to some. Information to be obtained during the notification of death in order of importance can buy forms. Every form should have a sheet by it. I do know that. Obtain only the information necessary for making the transfer remains. Not all the following may be necessary. Like, you do need the name of the deceased. It'll be weird if you go to the hospital and say, I'm looking for a dead person. You gonna take all of them? Because I don't know. All right. You need to know where they at. Like I said, you need to know the location. Okay, where's your husband located, Mrs. Wells? You know, name, telephone number, and relationship or authority of the person calling. If it's an institution, ask who the next of kin is. Yeah. Ask the next of kin. Sometimes those things get messed up around that time too. Somebody be like, "Oh, it's his sister," and then you'll find out that they married. Name of attending physician who's going to be signing the death certificate. That's nice to know. So you know who you'll be calling or who you got to get in touch with to sign it. If they are home or whatever the case may be, or you know have a questionable death, has a physician or medical examiner been notified? Medical examiner is a forensically trained physician whose duty is to investigate questionable or unattended deaths. Um, some states they have that instead of a coroner. And then some states have coroner as an elected appointed public officer whose chief duty is to investigate questionable deaths. You need to know the age of the deceased. I don't really see what they ask. How do you want them to be? Method of disposition. I don't really see that a lot of times, but I do hear them say permission to embalm, and people either orally give consent. Um, is the family institution ready for the funeral home? I know we asked that, and directions. Usually we look it up. Now Google has everything, so it's kind of easy to look it up ourselves. I'm gonna turn the TV on. Y'all see how that's distracting? I'm trying not to look, but I can't help it. All right. So additional information may be necessary if the transfer of remains is from a hospital, nursing home, or other institution. You're gonna need the same things: name, address, telephone number, number of the spouse or next of kin. Um, you need information of the person authorizing release to the funeral home, time of release, availability of refrigeration, and interest to utilize. And this is a record of notification of death. So all the information should be recorded accurately. Okay, a copy of the information should be left at the funeral home while the transfer is being completed. Now we're talking about transfer of remains, either home or institution. You need transfer vehicle. Um, the automobile generally is used for transporting uncasketed dead human bodies from the place of death to the mortuary or place of embalming. It may be a station wagon, van, or hearse, casket coach. Okay, determine how many staff members should be sent on the transfer. At least 2 for a home pickup. A lot of times I see 1 person, or if it's a transfer service, they'll have 2 people. But right here in the book, it say 2 for home pickup. Transfer equipment and accessories needed. May carry many of the items in the car in case needed. These are the things that's needed. May be needed. You may not need all of them, but if you want to be careful, this is what the NBE say you need. Okay, so you need the mortuary ambulance cot. It's a portable stretcher commonly employed in an ambulance or transfer vehicle. Most important, collapsible or flexible stretcher used to carry deceased to the cot if stairs or other obstacles intervene. Transfer lift, very recommended. Sheets and cot cover, zippered pouch, pillow or head block. Pillow is better. Rubber or plastic sheeting, keep in car. Towels to wipe areas, zippered mortuary body bag or disaster pouch. Straps, PPE, carry 2 sets of protective clothing. Sanitary accessories, baby blanket, bassinet or infant carrier, small rubber or plastic sheet. Personal appearance and of transfer personnel must be professional. Need to be clean and neat, conservative dress, no extremes, conformity with local customs and traditions, short hair and clean shaven. Transfer procedures. Make sure your body is ready to be released. Tripping, damn. Transfer should be made promptly. Transfer vehicle should be driven with responsibility. You need to obey the laws. Consideration for transfer from a residence. You need 2 people. Arrive at the place of death. 1 staff member should certain that they're at the correct location, while the other staff member stays with the vehicle. Must be there after body present in coach. Staff member visits with the family, if present, introduce selves, determines what equipment will be needed, and determine what furniture need to be moved for access. Advised family cot will be brought in and transfer is going to be made. Have family move out the area where removal will take place. Remove body before getting info from family. Furniture is moved if necessary. Make sure to put it back. Cot and other necessary and other equipment necessary brought. Use care not to dirty carpet, scratch the people walls or doorways. You got to do better. Transfer procedures. Okay. Confirm identity of deceased. In bold letters, especially at a hospital, because they don't count. Use protective accessories. Check for dentures, false teeth, and articles of values. Must check for these because they'll be calling. They'll have on the form from the Durham hospital telling me, oh yeah, he had a wife. His wife looking for it. I don't have time for this. Okay. There's a wrap body in plastic sheet or a body bag. Place body on cot and cover properly. Immediately take cot to the transfer vehicle. Leave one person at the vehicle. You're going to meet with the family. You're going to have to get permission to embalm. Preferably, we like it in writing as soon as possible. Everything you do is vital to the process. Okay. But also oral permission is allotted or allowed. Arrangement conference is the meeting between the family and the funeral director to discuss funeral arrangements. Prepare the family for various decisions to be made at the conference. Identify items of information at the time of conference. So let them know when you speak to the family at the time of removal that they would need Social Security and veterans information, vital statistics information like which concerns with marriage, divorce, sickness, and death. Information for the death notice. You need to know the survivors, time of place of service, mother's maiden name. They need clothing, jewelry, photograph for hairstyle, etc. You need insurance information, and you need the name of the cemetery to be used. Attempt to set a time for the arrangement conference. The arrangement conference, once again, is a meeting between the funeral director and the family. This is the most important component. Discussion should include the family with an officiant, so if they're doing a religious service, and a funeral director in order to coordinate wishes of the family. Items usually included in the arrangement conference. It's kind of what we just talked about, but items usually included from the funeral director themselves. Now, the first one's from the family. This is from the funeral director. It's distribution of required price list, GPL, casket price list, and outer container price list. Funeral details or special requests. Make it unique to the individual. Like if they were in a bike club, try to incorporate that. With the officiant, you figure out the time of service, the date of service, and the location. You need the casket bearer's information and methods of disposition. Okay. Cremation must get a written permission from family. They got to sign, and of course I think the medical examiner has to approve. Donation. They may have a service first if that's the way that they're gonna do, disposition. Disposition at sea. Certain persons are eligible for burial at sea by the United States. Members and former members, U.S. civilian marine personnel of the Military Sea Lift Command, dependents of members and former members of the Uniformed Services, United States citizens who, by notable service or by outstanding contributions to the United States, are eligible. Sorry, I was just reading over this. I don't know. It's chicken. I don't know why I thought it was so. Anyways, this is the first part we're gonna do. What you do need to know about disposition at sea. Okay. Legally, a captain can bury remains at sea, provided that environmental regulations are satisfied. Okay. So, casket preparation for burial at sea, according to the EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, if I'm correct, human remains should be prepared for burial at sea and buried in accordance with accepted practices and requirements may be deemed appropriate and desirable by the United States Navy, Coast Guard, or civil authority charged with the responsibility for making such arrangements. For example, local health departments may require burial or cremation permits. The following are the universal and most accepted preparation guidelines. Number 1 is banding. A total of 6 bandings, 1-inch bands, are to be placed around the casket, 2 on the head end, 2 at the foot end, 1 lengthwise head to foot, and 1 around the sides. Material will be nylon bands, not less than 3/4 of an inch. 2 is the holes. A total of 20. So you need 2-inch holes to be drilled in the casket. 4 in the head cap, 4 in the foot cap, 8 in the bottom, and 2 in the foot, and 2 in the head ends. Number 3, weighing. Place 150 pounds of extra weight inside the casket with remains prior to the banding process. Okay. Scattering of the cremated remains. In the United States, ashes can be scattered almost anywhere with permission required in some cases. However, if the ashes are to be given to the ocean in an urn, this should be done at least 3 miles or 3 nautical miles, okay, from shore. Bodies not cremated remains can be given to the sea at the same location as long as it's at least 100 fathoms or 600 feet deep. Okay. Special regulations may apply to the use of urns and coffins. Generally, these regulations have to do with holes being drilled in the urns or coffins and extra weight being added as mentioned in C above. Notice the EPA within 30 days. All burials, cremated or non-cremated, shall be reported in writing within 30 days to the EPA region within which the burial or scattering took place. The form is available on the website at epa.gov. Within the United States, local laws may vary. In some cases, it is legal, not against any law or ordinance, to scatter the ashes right from the dock or a simple fishing boat. This practice is sometimes called dock scattering, river scattering, or lake scattering. Scattering of cremated remains is still possible in the national parks under a special permit that is specific for the chosen park. Contact the National Park Service at nps.gov. Financial arrangements, okay? Explain expenses, non-declinable and declinable charges, merchandise costs, cash advances, and we do know that cash advance is accommodation, cash disbursement, or a similar term. As a cash advance item is also any item obtained from a third party and paid for by the funeral provider on the purchaser's behalf. Cash advance items may include, but are not limited to, cemetery or crematory services, pallbearers, public transportation, clergy honoraria, find out fees in advance, flowers, musicians or singers, nurses, obituary notices, gratuities, and death certificates. You may charge a fee for them, but must notify family first, okay? And then you need to know the method of payment. You need to know insurance assignment procedures. Flowers may be cash advance items. Okay, obtain information necessary for death certificates. A legal document containing vital statistics, disposition, and final medical information pertaining to the deceased. You need a burial permit. 2 signatures must appear on that, a funeral director and the medical doctor. Okay. Vital statistics information provided by informant is one who supplies vital statistics information concerning the deceased. Sometimes it's not always like the next of kin. Sometimes it's somebody else. Medical certification by proper authorities. Examples is the MD or DO, coroner or medical examiner, or maybe the JP in some jurisdictions, justice of peace. The funeral directors and embalmer information, registers information, purposes, and use of the death certificate. So a legal document containing vital statistics, disposition, and final medical information pertaining to the deceased. Carry a blank form with you in case the doctor screws up. Absolutely must be correct. Only 2 signatures required, the doctor and the funeral directors. Okay, show cause of death for medical or actual research. Must be acceptable cause. Legal permanent record of the death. Permanent statistical record of deceased. You need certified copies to settle estate, insurance, legal affairs. A legal copy of death certificate. Once again, necessary information for a death certificate. You need the legal name. Include any other names used by the decedent. If substantially different from the legal name after the abbreviation as known as Samuel Langhorne Clemens, aka Mark Twain, but not Jonathan Doe, aka John Doe. No. Date of birth. Basically, they're saying not. I don't think you should put some nicknames on there. Date of birth. Enter the full name of the month. Do not use a number or abbreviation to designate the month. Resident of decedent. Never use an acute care hospital's location. You need a surviving spouse name, mother name prior to first marriage, and place of death. You also need a daddy name. I know that. I don't think it shows that, but it is on there. Mm, place of death, yes. So sometimes it's hospital or what have I seen before? I can't remember. The place where the death is pronounced should be considered the place where death occurred. If the place of death is unknown but the body is found in your state, the certificate of death should be completed and filled in accordance with the laws of your state. Into the place where the body is found at the place of death. Cross-country and even international travel have raised some questions. However, the place of pronouncement has been held to be the official place of death. You need to know their education level. You need to know their race, occupation and industry, kind of business to which the occupation is related, such as insurance, farming, coal mining, hardware, retail, that kind of thing. Note, this recommended standard death certificate is the result of an extensive evaluation process. Your state certificate may vary slightly, but the information will essentially be the same. Okay. Information on the process of result of recommendation. I think it's trying to tell you about vital statistics. Basically, it's telling you again what's on it. Information provided by informant, medical certification by proper authorities, medical doctor, DO, coroner, medical examiner, and JP, funeral directors, and embalmers information, and registers information. Purposes and use of death certificate, we talked about that. Legal purposes, shows cause of death for medical and research. Legal permanent record of death, permanent statistical record of deceased, certified copies to settle estate, insurance, legal affairs. Death notice and obituary. Death notice, usually a classified notice, usually in the paper, publicizing the death of a person and giving those details of the funeral service that the survivors wish to have published. An obituary, so a death notice is just like, where the person is and that they're gonna have a service. Obituary is basically giving a little bit of a sketch of the person's life. It's a news item concerning the death of a person, which usually contains a biographical sketch. Vital statistics information like their name. They usually say the birthday. They talk about survivors, biographical information, photographs, service information. They say paid versus non-paid. Some papers provide a free service. Others charge for it. You need special requests, organ tissue donations instead of flowers. Okay. Burial transit permit, disposition permit. It's a legal document issued by a governmental agency authorizing transportation or disposition of a dead body. Typically, the permit is accepted by all states. Some states may want you to convert the permit. Issued upon filing the completed death certificate with the proper agency. Release from the coroner or medical examiner may be required. Allows the funeral director to transport or dispose of a dead human body. Legal record of final disposition. Burial, cremation, donation. Government benefit programs. Don't try to explain them to the family. Hand them a brochure and refer them to someone specific in the office they need. Social Security. 2 years from the death to collect the lump sum of $255. Obtain deceased's Social Security. Explain available benefits. Explain eligibility requirements. Okay. The forms used in conjunction with Social Security is the SSA 8, and that's the application for the lump sum, and SS 721, and that's the statement of death by a funeral director. And we're gonna stop right here because it's been 30 minutes, and this is dealing with funeral directing. That's the longest part of this. So I guess I'll see you guys tomorrow.